Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, KELSAI Ballerini.
Thank you.
You've had a busy day. What time did you have to get up this morning?
I slept on the way here, if that tells you anything.
Oh. KELSAI was on the Chris Evans breakfast show this morning. She met Kylie Minogue. Did you know James Corden before, or was that the first time you met him?
No, it's my first time meeting him, but I'm playing his show as soon as I get home.
I didn't think he had country singers on his show.
He's only had like 3 ever. Like Carrie, FGL with BB, and maybe Blake.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, we're here, lots of people from the UK and also from Europe. Some people would quite like to know a little bit about your background.
Okay.
This, of course, is Welcome Back to the O2, because you were here with Lady A.
Yeah.
First time at C2C.
Yeah.
Now, as I understand it, you grew up in a farm near Knoxville in East Tennessee, is that right?
Yeah, I've gotten some heat for this though, because I say a farm, it was like 4 acres, 3 cows and a goat. And everyone from like the city is like, that's a farm. And everyone from the actual country is like, that's not a farm. So
We think it's a farm, don't we?
Yeah.
And your dad, Ed, is that right?
Ed.
Yes. And Ballerini, is that it?
It's Italian.
It's Italian,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So Ballerini, you didn't want to be a dancer?
I danced for 10 years. I loved it. I did ballet. I got made fun of all the time. And I loved it. And then I grew and I got really long and I lost all my coordination. As you'll see on stage tonight, just prefacing that already.
But then you went, well, anyway, can you do a long story short just how you left? Because I think with your mum, you came to Nashville.
Yeah.
Is that right? So can you do just a quick story short?
Okay, Spark Notes life story. I always loved music, but I didn't think that you could just decide to be a singer and it would just happen. So I would be part of Glee Club and school choir, and I led worship at my church for a bit. And I always loved music, but I thought I was going to be a vet in Knoxville for my whole life. And then I wrote a song when I was 12 years old, and I was absolutely madly in love with it. And that is right when Taylor Swift came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's another young singer-songwriter that's moving to Nashville and doing this. And so me and my mom started coming out to Nashville every now and again and fell in love with that creative community that's there, and started as a songwriter, got signed to a publishing deal at 19, and then record deal at 20, and then it's been hectic ever since, in the best way.
And you've had a couple of ACM awards already.
I have one ACM award.
Yeah.
And I'm nominated for, I think, 2.
Coming up.
Yeah.
And you've made 2 records, so this was the first record.
That's the first one.
And
I look like a child, so that's exciting.
And unapologetically, someone will ask you why, but that's the new record.
Yeah.
That's out now.
Yeah.
So let's have some questions from the audience.
Okay.
There we go.
Hi, I'm Dan from YourLifeWithSong.com.
Hey.
The new album, Unapologetically, is such a personal record for you. So is that a difficult thing to do, to kind of open up your heart like that?
I don't know. I think that's the songwriter in me. I could never sing a song that I didn't connect to. And even the first record was really personal, but just in a different way, in like a 19-year-old self way, you know? And this one was very much so like just the feelings you get growing up and through heartbreak and through falling in love, which are just deeper feelings in general. I love singing about like actual real things for me. Yeah.
James Bacon, Lyric Magazine. I love the duet that you did with Jason Martin.
Oh, thanks.
But there are no duets on Unapologetically. Was that ever a new intention?
I've always had this goal to have one duet on every record, and it's just never happened. It's just been missing timings of other people. I really believe in my gut that when we finally get the right one, it'll be awesome and perfect. But
Would you like to duet?
ooh, The Weeknd. Honestly, just because of that reaction. I think my favorite duets are always ones that you put 2 people that you're like, that's not going to work together, and then you're like, huh. So I want someone like that.
Next. What's that?
Hi, KELSAI.
Hey.
I'm Sam from UKCountryRadio.com. Now, I remember reading about you training to be a hip-hop dancer. And have you ever thought about doing a crossover hit with regards to doing the hip-hop show Country?
Well, I love hip hop music. I love the beat of it, and I think that dancing for the length of time that I did really helped me just kind of discover rhythm and beat. So I would love to try to do that with someone who's good at it. But as far as me ever dancing or like becoming a hip hop artist, that's a hard pass.
Hi, my name is Allie Cortina. I'm from South Carolina, and I'm with Salem Magazine, and my mom's a music educator, so when you were up for a Grammy, her class was really hoping that you would win.
Oh, that's cool.
What made you go into country music? That's what some of your students are wondering, and how is patience and tenacity important for young kids who want to go into music?
Ooh, okay. The second question, I have learned, I think the most valuable thing I've learned is that work ethic is equally as important as talent. I think when I was in Glee Club at my high school, my choir teacher took it so seriously. She made us all feel like it was like a proper job. Like you had to show up on time. If you wanted the lead role, you had to really practice and work for it. And I just think that was like the first intro into the music industry that I really had, of like, it really is like you have to show up. You have to always show up at your best and really outwork as many people as you can to get a shot. So that's the second one. What was the first one again? Sorry.
What made you go into
Jet lag.
What made you go into country music?
I mean, I did grow up on a 3-cow, 1-goat piece of land farm in East Tennessee. I listened to everything growing up, and I still do. I love music. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But country music for me is my life. It's always been, it's how I grew up. It's how I live my life now. And I love being able to like be influenced by pop and rock and hip hop and all of that. But my roots are in Tennessee.
And talking about working hard, you are married to the hardest working man in C2C today.
He's
He's
cute.
non-stop.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I haven't seen him. I haven't.
Morgan Evans, if you didn't know. So you'll see him tonight because he's going to perform.
He
here.
performs right before me. So
He's
he's
on
like,
the little-
I'll toss to you. I'm like, cool. Maybe I'll see you after. Yeah.
Well, good. Right. Have we got a couple more? Pip.
Hey.
Focus. We spoke at the end of January, and you're just about to go off on your headline tour. Since then, you've broken records with Legends going to #1. Have you had time to take stock of just how many milestones and records you're breaking?
Oh, I mean, I really try to like process with what happens when it happens, and just be grateful because I know that tomorrow it could quit me, you know. That being said, I also have to keep my head down and be like, okay, don't mess it up, keep going, don't mess it up. So I'm super grateful, especially for Legends, because that was first single from second record, and that's always really intimidating. And to see it be embraced like it has been is really cool. And even over here, when we played it here with Lady A, it felt really special.
That's good.
So.
You said about duets, but actually you did a duet version of that on the CMA Awards show.
With
Miss
Reba.
Yeah.
Reba. My favorite story is we had our first rehearsal, and she came out for the second verse. I don't know if you saw it. And
Yeah.
she
We all
stepped
saw
out.
it because it was on British television.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she stepped out from behind this massive mirror, first rehearsal, and you know how she like she has her moment. She like steps out, she puts her hands like this, and in the empty arena, like all the crew members clap. Like she's like powerful, you know. So she has her moment. She stands there, and the lyric is like we were written down in permanent marker. We have teleprompter and everything. She steps out. She goes, like we were written down a magical marker. And we all lost it. And so every time I see her or my band or her, I mean, we're all like, magical marker. Like, we don't even know where it came from. It was amazing.
That was very good. We only got time for a couple more because it's nearly showtime. There we go. There's the microphone there.
Hi, I'm Building Our National. I just wanted to ask about your first ever London show that sold out in minutes. Did you expect that? How did it feel? The words, how it felt that all the fans were singing not just all your songs, but the ones that weren't even released?
I remember people telling me that over here it's super songwriting centric and album centric, and album cuts will sometimes feel like singles. And it felt like that. It's always really intimidating going to a place that's like an 8-hour flight away, and you're like, I wonder if my music's going to make it off this flight with me, you know? And when it does, you're like, oh my goodness. And that's why we've been back 3 times in a year, because we're just like, I am obsessed with just the feeling over here and how people know the second verse to track 7.
And it's the correct thing to do if you come at the beginning of your career and you come a lot at the beginning. you will have a long career here, we can promise that. But you will find the audiences vary. So if you go to Scotland, they're lively, but you had a quieter audience in Amsterdam, didn't you?
We did.
I wonder why that was.
We did. Oh,
Sleepy.
that's also because I think that's where my gear didn't make it. So we had our big full band show. We toured with Lady Gaga for like 50 dates. We had our show down, and then we came over here to finish the tour, and my gear didn't make it. So we like rented acoustic guitars and did our whole show like on a cajon. And it was
in Amsterdam.
I think it was Amsterdam.
Yeah, but that's fine because
It was awesome. It
you
kept
get
us on our
different
toes.
reactions. The audience tonight will be. They won't make that much noise during your songs. They'll be listening. There'll be a bit of singing along, which is great.
Okay.
We've got to let you go. We've got to go one more. Where's the mic for that?
Ballerini from Germany, magazine Living London. I don't know if you realize that a lot of people from countries where English is not the main language are here at the O2 every single year, not only journalists, also the audience. Do you know any other languages than English?
Spanish was the first class that I made a C in. My brain can't get there. I want to so badly. I can't even get an accent down. For real.
We've got to let you go back. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
KELSAI
guys.
Ballerini.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.